Ladies and gentlemen, I have a small PSA for you here for something that may end up being a nothing burger. We'll talk about the things that could change, but may end up being something which you want to be prepared for so you're not shocked and left in the dust once 9.1 launches. And this is in reference to the legendary items. Before we get into that, I just want to answer a lot of the questions I've seen in the comments, especially as new games have appeared on the channel that aren't World of Warcraft. What's going on there? Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be covering some new games. One thing Shadowlands has really shown to us is that if the game isn't doing particularly well, we don't do particularly well, and having a business that is utterly reliant on World of Warcraft doing good is incredibly moronic. It's really stupid. You can imagine that would be a really stupid thing. So we are going to be doing some stuff on new games, especially because that's where my passion is as well. Always been a gamer, always will be, and now we've got our staff on board. Nups' first Friday feature. We are going to be doing a Friday feature, which is a really well-edited, fantastic video. Our first one is coming out tomorrow. It's not on World of Warcraft, but I think you're going to love it. I absolutely do. I believe in it wholeheartedly, so I hope you give him some love and support for his first video on the channel tomorrow, and look forward to those kind of videos every single Friday because they're 10 out of 10. Let's get into the PSA. So you see these things here? Badoom, Progenian fragments. Okay, so a few things that are going on here is that Wowhead has done some data mining on the Soul Ash upgrades of your legendary items, yeah? Your legendary items are obviously 235 right now if you've got the max level one, and they're going up 2 more times in 9.1. Now, what they've discovered is that currently the Soul Ash cost of upgrading the next 2 is the same as the upgrade 2235. So that 5,000 Soul Ash cost to get that top tier one that you're paying right now, it's still 5,000 for each one. So you'll need around 10,000 Soul Ash coming into 9.1 to do that upgrade. Rejoice. A lot of people really happy about this. That means not a lot of Torghast grinding. Although I will point out here, Torghast is being entirely redesigned. We saw some notes on that yesterday, so stay subscribed for that. We're going to be covering that as soon as it's open. Currently, it's locked while they work on it, but we will be checking it out as soon as humanly possible. That's cool. That's good news. Now, on the other hand, though, it's not just Soul Ash you need to upgrade these things, is it? What you also need is the base item to actually get the upgrade to that relevant item level. Now, right now, in the game, it's not too bad. I've seen them range from, like, 20,000 gold for a 235 piece on Clothies. It's still like 90,000 gold for some of the plate pieces. But a few weeks ago, it was the biggest complaint a lot of people were giving me is it was like 260,000 gold for some pieces on certain classes. It's really expensive in order to buy the actual base 235 piece in order to get the legendary upgrade. It's one of the biggest gold sinks currently in the game that affects a wide array of players. Now, obviously, for the most part, most people want to upgrade their legendaries, but there may be an opportunity if you don't want to do that, if you're fine with not doing that. So how do you do this bit? This is the bit that's changed, right? Soul Ash is remaining the same, but crafting, which is the crafter's job of creating these base items, that bit is changing. And through tooltip stuff, and again, this may be a nothing burger, not trying to cause a panic, just letting you know in case this does happen. Be prepared, right? These things, they need 20 of these. So each crafter that makes these item pieces, to get started, will need 20 of these Progenian fragments. I have one, and currently the only place we know of getting these is the Maw dailies. I've been doing these every single day since the PTR launched. Tomorrow is going to be a big deal because we're finally going to finish this opening meta quest here, the Jailous Efforts Subdued, to see what actually happens in this zone, if anything. It's really going to be the make or break for this 9.1 world content. But these are BOE, okay? Now, the first important thing that's going to be relevant here. Seemingly, so far, this quest does not proc every single day. We've had one so far in the 3 days that we've been doing Korthia. That means that we might end up with one day where there's lots of them just appearing on the AH. You can sell these, and then there'll be days where there's none. Now, that's one thing that Blizzard could change. They could go, ooh, we didn't really want that. We want to make sure there's a legendary quest every single day to get one of these items, considering people do need 20 of them. Or they may intentionally be putting that way to try and get some gold out of the economy and putting them on the auction house. Obviously, for some of you opportunistic guys out there who have plenty of level 60 alts, you could come here quite easily on multiple characters on the day that this quest procs and gather, like, if you, like me, I've got 12 level 60s. I could get 12 of these in the space of an hour, which could be incredibly lucrative. So wherever people are going to be spending a lot of gold is also a place where people are going to be earning a lot of gold, and that could be you. Now, according to some data mined stuff on tooltips and recipes, what looks like it's going to happen is that each crafter who wants to craft these base legendary pieces will need to require 20 of these. Then they will craft an item called the Origin, and then from there they will then start, hopefully they will learn the recipe in order to craft the base item level. That we think is going to be the case, but again, all subject to change. What does that mean then? Why would you need a lot of gold? Well, if you're not a crafter or don't have a lot of access to alts, these things are going to be very expensive, and the items that are then crafted from these are going to be even more expensive. This could be a massive, massive gold sink, especially in the early start of 9.1. It's something you want to be ready for, because there are a lot of big, rich fish out there that are going to be able to buy all these things up very, very easily, no matter what's put on the auction house. And they're going to be all the greedy little goblins putting them up there for ludicrous prices because they're going to be relatively rare. So this is something you really want to be aware of going in. If you're somebody who is progression focused and wants to get their legendaries sorted real quick, real fast, is it could be way more expensive than we've seen already in the Shadowlands in order to craft these legendaries. Now, a number of things could change here, obviously. They could alter it so that this quest does appear every day, so that there's a steady stream of them coming into the market. If not, they will be spurts and then troughs as the days go by where there isn't one of these. They may have already thought that, and they're having like one of these quests appear every other day, something along those lines. Like I say, it's been 3 days and we've had one of these things. There's definitely an opportunity here for alts to do that. I also think they're probably going to change the Soul Ash requirement. It reminds me a little bit of the anima requirements or the anima power requirements on the BFA armors, where later on in the PTR cycle, we were all happy throughout the PTR cycle because it was like, oh, they're actually leveling your Heart of Azeroth is not that big of a deal. And then towards the end of the PTR cycle, they're just like, boop, just bumped it up by like 10. We were like, oh, okay. Well, fair enough then. You're just going to bump it up and we're going to call it a GG from there. So the Soul Ash requirement might go up as well. I would safely try and acquire like 20k if you can get your Soul Ash sorted. I do not have it, as you can see. I do not have it on this character, but it'd be something you might want to get sorted while you have the free time before 9.1 launches. They could also make it so it just requires less. They could do a huge amount of things here to make this not a thing, but I suspect, my gut feeling is these things are going to be stupidly expensive in order to do the next 2 upgrades of your legendary item. And I want you guys to be prepared for that. Especially if you've kind of rested on your laurels or you're taking a break because, you know, you've cleared Nathria and you're not coming back until the new raid is out. Great deal of people in that position. Just letting you know that this could be a massive gold sink. So it feels that way to me, considering the price of the original base armors were like $250,000 at one point. I expect it to be maybe even go further now that there's more hoops to jump through in order to actually craft those items in the first place. And as we know, lots and lots of people are going to want to upgrade those legendaries, and it's a buyer's market. Whoever's got the most money is going to pay it, and those prices are going to go up. Up, up, up. On the other hand, could be very lucrative. Not that interested in upgrading your legendaries. Got access to some alts. Takes about 40 minutes in order to access Korthia from the very start, and I'm sure with some efficiency you can get that down to like 20. If you're not going to be watching cutscenes and things like that, you could zip through it, especially with some experience, and then you could come down here and do the dailies. And each daily in Korthia takes less than 5 minutes. There's 4 every single day that take about 5 minutes each. So it's not particularly difficult to run through here on all your alts, grab a load of these things, and either use them for yourself if you're a crafter, or just throw them up on the auction house along with everybody else, and chance your arm at making a lot of gold. So, fingers crossed this gets altered and gets made a little bit easier, but considering we've got time now before 9.1 launches, I think it's worth mentioning this. Alright, so thank you for watching, guys. Be good, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.